guys, and welcome to a very stormy edition of Gamer Logic. It is raining like hell outside. I can barely see out my window. The rain keeps coming down, thunder, lightning. We're actually having a tornado warning right now, and what am I doing? I'm doing a review. I'm insane, what can I say? So if we're watching this and the power happens to go out, I'm just going to go ahead and go into the full review of the game footage recorded. So if it's like it's really dark in here, that's what's going on. But anyway, I am a huge fan of Golgo 13. Golgo 13 has actually been around for a long time. He was a big manga character, and he's been around, I want to say, since the early 1970s. There have been 2 live-action films, tons of anime, lots of comic adaptations, and of course there have been a couple of games. Most recently there's been some Golgo 13 games on the DS, and there's also been a couple arcade games, and of course there were a few NES games. I actually have the first Golgo 13 game that was released on the NES. I have an unsealed, and I have a fully sealed copy. It's never been opened before. So it's kind of a cool thing to have in my collection. Always been a big Golgo 13 fan, but there was a superior game that was released for the NES that was much better than Top Secret Episode, and that was the Mafat Conspiracy, or, well, we'll talk about how I mispronounce the name of this game all the time, but it is a sequel to Golgo 13, so here we go. The Mafat Conspiracy is the second game released on the NES for the Golgo 13 series. He's also had a couple arcade games, and I believe a couple DS games as well, but this was the second one for the NES. Over in Japan, I believe it was released as The Riddle of Icarus, which to me sounds way better than Mafat. In fact, I still can't quite get the name right. I've always called it Mafat instead of Mafat or Mafat, whatever. I'm just going to call it Golgo 13 from this point, okay? Just like in the comics, Golgo is hired for a highly dangerous mission and tasked with stopping the Mafat group from taking over the world. Just as the game starts, a satellite system is brought crashing down to the Earth by some kind of new military technology, and Mafat is claiming responsibility. To make matters even worse, they've kidnapped the scientists who actually created the technology. Golgo starts his journey in Paris, but he'll travel all over the world in a variety of different stages. What's cool is the story is actually delivered to the player with cutscenes that are very similar to the ones like in Ninja Gaiden. Though I will say in Gaiden they were much better. The gameplay in Golgo 13 is broken up with a variety of different gameplay mechanics. Let's start off with the first one, which is the side view. Side view is what you'll play the majority of the game in. Here you'll dodge enemies, punch or kick them as well as shoot them. The controls here are pretty decent. Golgo can jump pretty high, which is handy, especially when a lot of enemies are on the screen. Punching's easy. Kicking's actually done with the same button. You just either duck down or hit the attack button and he'll do a kick, or when you do a jump, he'll do a flying jump kick. You'll pick up a couple of different pistols, and when you want to shoot, it basically replaces your punch and kick button. You'll also fight bosses in the side view as well. Ah boy, the first person view. Okay, when I was like 12 years old, this was a lot of fun, but playing it now, this is a huge pain in the ass to navigate. The rooms all pretty much look the same as you can see. They're just this dingy gray. The only occasional thing you'll see is maybe a door that'll take you to a different place, and the occasional bad guy that'll jump at you. The thing is about the first person view is you have to map out where you go. The thing is, when you map it out, if you're paying more attention to the map instead of the screen, a bad guy can jump at you and throw a knife or an explosion or shoot you and drain your energy, and if you run out of energy, you start all the way back at the beginning of the building, which is, again, a huge pain in the butt. To make matters worse, and one example of this is when you beat the first boss, he tells you that the building is going to explode. So what do? Do they put a cutscene showing Golgo just walking out of the building? No. You actually have to go through the entire map again, and you only got 5 minutes to do it. So if you didn't draw a map, you're pretty much screwed. So I would recommend mapping it for sure, or these days you could just go to Game FAQs and pretty much find a very nice detailed map, which is what I did. Just make sure you print it out, because twisting back and forth between the monitor and the TV screen started to make me kind of dizzy. I swear I'm getting vertigo as I get older, oh well. Next up is the racing view. If you played Red Racer, you've pretty much played this portion of Golgo 13, except now you can throw grenades, and you don't have the 3D glasses feature. It controls just like that game for the most part, and you also have a limited time to get to your goal. The Sniping View is probably my favorite in this entire game. Sometimes Golgo 13 will need to take out someone from a distance, and he has just the tool for that, his custom M16. This part of the game is cool because you have to adjust for wind speed and direction, and you only have one shot. So make sure your aim is true, otherwise you're going to have to start the entire level over. But I always thought it was a pretty cool feature when I was a kid, and still do. So, this game has a decent amount of variety to it to make the player really enjoy what he's playing. After so many years of not playing this game and picking it up again, it did have some frustrating parts, but I still thought it was pretty fun, except for those damn annoying first-person view sequences. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5, and would recommend this over the first Golgo 13 game, which is a little worse in presentation. But overall, Mafat, Brutal Vicarous, whatever you want to call it, this game is pretty decent. 3.5 out of 5 stars. Pick it up, emulate it, whatever you want to do. This has been an episode of Gamer Logic. I'm Mike Mertes. Take it easy.